Hi everybody, it's Anna. Beautiful day in Nanjing. I am off today to explore the Confucius Temple in the Fuzi Miao area. So I'm looking forward to taking some pictures and maybe a little bit of video and telling you about that later today. Look forward to it. Bye!
So it's Sunday afternoon. Yesterday I did my trip to the Fuzi Miao area in the Confucius Temple. I'm sitting outside the dorms right now. This is, you can see over here, all of our bicycles are parked and my little bike is sitting somewhere there. It's another very nice day in Nanjing, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my trip to the Fuzi Miao area. On Saturday. I had a really great time. It was super packed. I hear that's how it is on the weekends, and probably the nice weather also contributed to that. So I was really overwhelmed with the size of the neighborhood. I don't think I quite understood how large it was. There were several historical sites. It's built predominantly around the Confucius Temple, and then also the examination school, the examination hall. So the Confucius Temple was actually built after the examination hall, and that was to provide an area for the students to go and pay their respects to Confucius and to pray and to hopefully increase their scores and things like that. So the temple originally was built during the Song Dynasty, and then it was destroyed and rebuilt several times. From my understanding, the current structure dates to just after the Second World War. So that's one thing I find really interesting about Nanjing, is how they have, had to rebuild and restore so many of their historical sites. The temple itself was rather small, and the examination hall was also quite small, but really interesting. I'm going to include some photographs I took of that area. I think the most notable thing about the Fuzi Miao area is the fact that it is basically a non-stop shopping spree. So you have everything from your traditional Chinese type souvenirs to contemporary Chinese wares, clothing and shoes and pets and loads of food, which was really fun. Actually, that's one of my most favorite things about being in areas like that, is just all the different kind of interesting food you get to see and try. So it's a really, really interesting area, and I hope you enjoy the photos I took of it, and yeah, we'll see what's up next. This is the entrance to the Fuzi Miao area. These were some of the sights along the way. Some really amazingly delicious kebabs. Your stinky tofu. This was an incredibly beautiful gold leaf tree. At a little booth you could purchase those pre-written strips, red strips with words of good fortune and well wishes written on them. This gentleman was making really incredible lollipop type things out of dripped what looks like some kind of syrup. They were absolutely beautiful. There were a number of artists set up outside demonstrating and selling their artwork. I particularly enjoyed his. And here was a calligrapher who was giving an impromptu showing of his work. This is just inside the entrance to the Confucius Temple. We have a huge statue of Confucius with incense burning. And just behind that is the entrance into the Great Hall. One of the most beautiful things inside the Great Hall are a series of 36 jade panels that depict Confucius' life, and they're recent, they're new. They were donated in 1998, but they're based off of a set of famous Ming paintings. Traditional Chinese music concerts are held in one of the halls, and this is a sample of some of the instruments that are played during these concerts. And this is just a really beautiful pavilion. And here's a picture of one of the crowded shopping streets. And I found this lady who was making really pretty paintings inside very small pieces of glass, and she was able to write your Chinese name for you if you like. Some little boats you can take up and down the Qinghua River, which is apparently incredibly beautiful during the Lantern Festival. And this is the entrance into the examination hall, which is just a few minutes walk from the Confucius Temple. This exhibit was about the living arrangements in the examination hall, and that was really fascinating. It really gave you a sense of how small this little area was where these scholars came and lived for the 9 days that they took the civil examination. So it was super incredible. They basically had this little tiny room where they sat by day and worked on a desk, and then at night that little tiny desk area became their bed. In addition to shopping, you could even stop and get your very own tattoo. I ate my first bowl of yuan xiao, which are basically little small sweet dumplings in a red bean sauce, and the dumplings represent happiness and harmony. So I spent about 5 hours in total browsing around the area, but I really feel that I hardly scratched the surface. So after finishing the day off with a giant piece of bread, I decided that I definitely need to go back and check out the rest of the area. So everybody, I hope you found that interesting. I look forward to telling you a little bit more about Nanjing and my adventures here in the next video. So until then, 再见.